So are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
We're on?
Yep, I'm just playing with this new setting here. So let us know if we look okay, because we like moved the camera and the light. And let us know if we sound okay, because I think...
I want you to know that light is now right in my eyes.
Oh, let me move it for you.
I'm like...
It was supposed to be turned towards me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Is that better?
I think so. Okay. I'll probably look like I need a shave, a 4 o'clock shadow or something, but looks pretty good. Anyways, good Shabbos, everyone. Thank you for joining us once again for our virtual Shabbat services. If you are watching us, go ahead and take a few moments and kind of wish everyone good Shabbos so we know who's there. But before we officially begin our service, the weather's kind of changed. It's a little bit hot out there, but you know what? We've noticed that there's a lot more people just walking outside, kind of appreciating nature. And I think we've all gotten a little bit of cabin fever, so it's nice to get out.
And we're afraid of the rising temperatures.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We've been walking socially distanced with some friends. I've tried it a couple of times, and it's nice to see people, and I've seen some of you out there. And there was even a comment, I can't wait to see what's inside the hall this week. So.
And I can't wait either. So
and
we'll
because
see.
that came from Jacob Mann, I am nominating the Mann family to be our challah next week. So.
That's right. We're challahing out to you. That's a terrible pun. Well, we got a lot of things coming up this week. If you want to connect with the temple, sometimes it's Facebook, sometimes it's Zoom, sometimes it's a little bit of both. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, 8:45 is Torah class. You're going to start to see a change in some of our Zoom classes. They're requiring passwords. So I think a Torah class, we're still good. As long as you get into a Zoom class via a link, you're good. But if you just simply type in the room ID, you're going to need a password. So those will start to become part of our publicity as well. I started a brand new class, Hasidic Tales for Adults. If you're an adult and you want to kind of learn about the hidden meaning behind these Hasidic stories, a little bit about the times in which the Hasidic masters lived, and the values that were so important to them that make their way to this very day, this class is for you. No advanced knowledge necessary. It's a 3-part series, so 5:30 on Wednesday. Zoom right in. We had a great turnout, and I hope we do again. And Rabbi Cohen and I do about a bi-weekly, every 2 weeks. We do 2 rabbis, 3 opinions, and the 3rd opinion is yours, and that'll be on Friday. And of course, Cantor and I like to do our weekly schmooze, where we do a little chit-chat and kind of a lighthearted take, and that's on Thursdays at noon. Rabbi Cohen and my program is at 11 a.m. on Friday. So I know you're not going to remember all of it. Just look at the Facebook,
yes,
the website. It's all there. I know you're involved in some other things as well.
Absolutely. So real quick, after I made the announcement about the challah, then I saw Becky get on. So Becky, let your brother know, because of him, you guys are doing the challah. You, the Mann family, are going to do our creative challah for next week. So
I've been volunteered.
You were voluntold. So, and I want to say hello, because it's like we can't see each other face to face. We can't. There's no ushers to greet us. So I want to say hello to anyone that said that wished us a Shabbat Shalom or wished each other a Shabbat Shalom. So Shabbat Shalom to Paul, Marilyn, Stephanie, Heidi, Bonnie, Maggie, Julie and Maya, Joan.
These are all real people.
These are real people.
These are real
Laura,
people.
Dana, Joanne, Rhonda, Becky, Lauren, Faye, Elvis. That's a cool name.
Okay, I'm going to say hello to Lisa, Dina, and Audrey, my sisters, okay? We're going to throw them, we'll do a shout out to your mom, my wife. We got a lot of people coming on.
Want to hear something funny? I'm allergic to the antibacterial stuff, the hand sanitizer. So I put the hand sanitizer on, my nose runs, and then I have to put the hand sanitizer on again.
Oh,
is that the worst plague? Like,
that is.
It's almost worse than the actual plague.
Okay.
Okay, so what do I have going on? We have our twice a week with Emmett. He's very popular. We do our Lila Tov song and story time before bed at 7 p.m. We have Neshama Flow with Cassidy on Thursdays at 4:30. I want to look at some other times too, so let us know if there's a better time for you. We have our weekly schmooze, and Hebrew Boot Camp is still taking place on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3:30. And I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but you'll see it. I'll post it, and we will stay in touch via Facebook and Instagram.
Temple may be closed physically, but we're reaching out to you virtually, and we're so glad for all of your support that we continue to stay together as a community. And of course, Sunday is going to be Mother's Day, so right now we want to wish all of the mothers in our lives a happy Mother's Day, and we're so grateful for all that they do to enrich our lives. So, Ricky, are we ready?
We're ready.
All right, let's begin Shabbos. Here we go. Or as Joe would say, Shabbos! That's a shout out to Joe.
Ricky, you're gonna have to lean over like this because I can't get you in the picture. Shiru Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai shir chadash. Shiru Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai shir chadash. I will sing unto God a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. We light the Shabbat candles, we kindle them, and we thank God for the week that is past and the week that is to come. If you're following along in Mishkan Tefillah, page 120 and 121. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel
We continue in our prayer books, page 126. I begin with the prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created, to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us, and to bring that vision to life.
We turn to page 138 and welcome the Shabbat bride, Lecha Dodi. Verses 1, 5, and 9. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Koch emunei am segula boi chala yalalai yalalai lechadodi yalalai likrat kala yalalai penei Shabbat nekabe yalalai lechadodi yalalai likrat kala yalalai penei Shabbat If you have not already stood up, please rise now for the Baruch Hu, page 146.
O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. O let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam Vaed.
Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. You may be seated. We join together chanting the Ve'ahavta, page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל הכנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים. זלי זלי אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, aleinu, sukat shlomecha, hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu, hashkiveinu, Shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
As we turn to the Amidah, if you're able, please rise. Page 164, 165. We pray as if everything depended on God, and we act as if everything depended on you.
Adonai sefartai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Kornei Hakol, v'Zacher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, u'Mevi Geula livnei v'neihem, למען שלו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל, אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחייב, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom v'halocha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. We continue in silent devotion through page 180, using the words on the right or the left side of the page. When you have completed your prayers, please be seated.
So we pause in our service to sing a Misha Berach. So if there are those of you who are watching this web stream who would like to share a name of a loved one to include in our prayers, there's a slight delay, so go ahead and type the names in. The cantor will read the names as they come in. But we take this moment to think of those in our circle of family and friends who are in need of our prayers, people that we care deeply about. We hope that when we share these prayers, it connects us to them and them to us, and that they know just how profound their lives are intertwined with ours. And we think also of those who are caregivers, who minister to others in their time of need, who give selflessly of themselves so that others who are ill might find comfort and strength and support. For all those who struggle with matters of the heart and the mind, we ask that God watch over them and embolden them as well. So who shall we include, in addition to all these people in our hearts, some of the names that have been submitted?
Stuart Baker, Mindy Nanny, Lizzie Gergman, the Pink family, David Brender, Dee Bale, Brian Tabak, Arthur Clark, Miriam Olds. Arlene Cohen, Ayora Abaden, Susanna Bowen, Elizabeth Hans. We think of all these and anyone suffering from COVID-19, and together we sing Misha Berach.
Well, good Shabbos again, everyone. So I want to tell you what I hope is a funny story. Finkelstein, so the story goes, suffers severe pains in his chest and is rushed to the finest hospital in America. For 7 days, he receives treatment there. Then, without explanation, he checks himself out and has himself transferred to a small, rundown little hospital in the Lower East Side. The doctor on the ward is intrigued by his decision. What was wrong with the hospital you were at? It's world famous. Was it the doctors? Did they find out what was wrong with you? The doctors, replies Finkelstein, were outstanding geniuses. Can't complain. Or was it the nurses? Were they not attentive enough? Were they distant, cold? The nurses were angels, said Finkelstein. No, can't complain. So was it the food? Too little, too boring? It must have been the food, right? No, the meals were wonderful. They tasted of paradise. About the food, I can't complain. So tell me, Mr. Finkelstein, why did you leave one of the best hospitals in the world to come here? Finkelstein gives him a big smile and says, because here I can complain. I need Mike Adler's rim shot for that one. Well, we've had a lot to complain about as of late, haven't we? I mean, who would have thunk that here we would be so excited to see rolls of tissue and toilet paper and paper towels, or Clorox, finally found Clorox, or yeast, still can't find yeast. I am still looking for these items. My wife sends me to the store. I risk my life going hunting for these little gems, and when I find them, I think, I found a treasure, that I'm so clever. In the meantime, I kvetch. I complain. We kvetch. We go, huh? We go, huh? We get on the phone and we complain. Usually it's about the weather and how hot it is, and now we complain about the items we can't find, and did you find, and getting a little stir crazy, and well, there's a lot to fetch about. Some of it is fetch worthy, don't get me wrong, there's big problems. But sometimes just to let our hair down and we vent a little bit, it's okay. And sometimes I wonder if the only ones happy are the dogs. I mean, my dogs used to be so happy if I took them out once a week. Now, twice a day minimum. I mean, from the beginning of the morning, they look at me with these puppy dog eyes and they say, okay, come on, forget about breakfast, let's just go out for a walk. We eat, the day goes through, it's dinner time, there they go with those puppy dog eyes, it's time to go for a walk. Well, they're the happy ones. I used to think I was taking my dog for a walk, now they're taking me for a walk. So we've made an art of fetching, especially during this time of the coronavirus. Listen, you gotta have at least a sense of humor. People send me all kinds of jokes and they do all kinds of posting on Facebook. Here's one I wanna share because it's not only humorous, there's a little bit of fetching and there's a little bit of wisdom. I've given it some thought and have come to these conclusions. Until further notice, there are only 3 days in a week: today, yesterday, and tomorrow. Just ask a 6-year-old if he understands why there is no school. He said yes, because they're out of toilet paper. On the bright side, I am no longer calling this shelter in place. I am an artist in residence. After years of wanting to thoroughly clean my house, but lacking the time, this week I discovered that wasn't the reason. 2020 is a unique leap year. It has 29 days in February, 300 days in March, and 5 years in April. Wearing a mask inside your home is now highly recommended, not so much to prevent COVID-19, but to stop eating. This cleaning with alcohol, totally meshuggah, nothing gets done after that first bottle. Kind of starting to understand why pets try to run out of the house when the door opens. My mom always told me I wouldn't accomplish anything by laying in bed all day. But look at me now, I'm saving the world. Well, hopefully that brought a little chuckle to you. If not, don't write in. Humor is a good distraction from fetching, and it tempers it a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong, fetching's okay, as long as we don't take it too seriously. That's why we need some of that humor. But it is tough to be sheltered in place for so long, and to be faced with so much uncertainty. But that is where we're at. Some feel it is time we begin to open up the economy. Others say we're not ready. Some feel a vaccine is just around the corner, and others say we are 2 years away. I can't help it. Sometimes I do turn off the news. And I just turn on an old episode of Seinfeld. At least it's humorous, it's familiar. On the other hand, we have an opportunity to shape our experience. Here we are at home, and we have a chance really to shape how we feel, how we think about what's going on, to a degree. And I would say that the degree in which we face this with strength and courage is summed up in one word: resiliency. Resiliency is that ability to look at a situation and understand when it is a problem and whether it can be dealt with or not. And if it can't be dealt with, to let it go, to say, it's okay, this problem will wait. A solution isn't here just now, but it'll come. While we have no control over this virus, very little about the events going on outside of ourselves, what we do have control over is what's going on inside ourselves, what our attitudes are, which message we will give to our children, our families, and our friends, and how nobly and in how dignified a manner we behave during this unprecedented time. Which new skills, which new strengths, perhaps lying dormant within us until now, will emerge. Years ago, I remember reading something that stayed with me in one of Dennis Prager's books. He called it the story of the missing piece syndrome. He told the story of two people who were just kind of standing in a room. It was a very beautiful room, and the ceiling was quite ornate. One of the people was looking at the ceiling and saying, "Boy, this is like a palace. This is so gorgeous." And the other one said, "That light bulb is out. It's that missing piece." Instead of looking at all the good and all the beauty, that one person said, "That's not right." Sometimes I describe it in a different metaphor. I'll take a piece of paper that's all white, I'll put a little black dot in the center, and I'll ask people, "What do you see?" And they'll say, "I see the dot." And I'll say, 99% of this is white, there's nothing on it, but what you see is that dot. It's one hand to have a critical eye. It's another to be critical. It's one thing to try to improve our lives and to want the best for ourselves and our family, but it's another to have an outlook on life that is always dour, always looking at things and saying, it's missing a light bulb, it's missing a piece. There's a mark there, there's a scratch there, there's something wrong. Instead of saying, what a beautiful ceiling, what a beautiful room, we say, who ruined that ceiling? If that's how you're feeling right now, perhaps it's time to pause. Look at that attitude and see how that attitude is affecting and impacting not only your life, but those around you. It's one thing to kvetch, and sometimes kvetching when it's venting is part of our release valve. It's good to laugh, that too is part of our release valve. But when we bottle it up inside, and when we find that our attitude and our sense of self is clouded, well, we're just expecting it to rain all day on our heads. That's no way to get through this. That's no way at all. On the one hand, we can focus on what's good, and we can motivate ourselves to do better. And on the other hand, we can look at life and say, you know what, this is terrible, this is awful. To some extent, both can be true, but it's up to us to shape that journey that we're going through right now. Some of it is beyond the scope of what we can do. If we've lost our jobs, if we're in a food line, it's awful. But yet, there are people who are going through some of the worst times in their lives, and their outlook is still good. What makes them different? I'd have to suggest it's their ability to be resilient and to have an outlook on life that is positive and encouraging and motivating, and a search and a pursuit for the joy in life itself. You know, there's a Hasidic story about a very famous rabbi, Reb Zusia. The story goes that, well, why they would ask him, don't you behave with a little bit more dignity, a little bit more dignity? And he said, you know what, when I get to heaven, they won't ask me, Zusia, why weren't you like Moses? They'll say, Zusia, why weren't you acting like Zusia? God does not ask us to be someone else. He asks us to be ourselves, our best selves. Tradition teaches us that we have two pockets. In one pocket it says, I am but dust and ashes. In the other pocket it says, the whole world was created for me. Both are true. Modesty and humility, resiliency and positivity, these are the qualities that balance us out. And so if this time in our lives has knocked you off your balance, perhaps it's time to recalibrate, to reflect, to reimagine, to be creative and refine not only your outlook, but your daily routine. For none of us are Moses. All of us are human. None of us are without faults. All of us can do better. But somewhere, somehow between these two extremes, we all can meet in the middle. And when we do, we not only find our balance, but we find a measure of happiness that we had forgotten because for a moment we looked away. It's time to look forward, always forward. Shabbat Shalom.
So there's no doubt that there's been a lot of kvetching, even in my house, and there's also been a lot of looking forward. But one of the things that has definitely helped during this time is to look into the eyes of the future, into the eyes of my child. And I know for all of the moms and stepmoms and grandmas and aunts and anyone else that serves as a mother figure, that has been both a place to kvetch around your children. We've heard a lot of that, but it's also been a place to see the future. And I thought that a fitting song is to remind us that when everything around us is swirling, we have love. There's always love. And that's what we can go to. So this is Love Will Win Today by Becky Mann. The road you're walking has been rough. The week you're having has been tough, or the last 8. But every single day is something more than you had yesterday. So take it all in stride. The words they're saying, they can sting. They just might try to break your wings. But love is made of friends, and though we go through times that cloud our lens, we always have the choice to say that love will win today. Whoa, love will win today. To feel the sun beneath the pouring rain is to know there's happiness under the pain. Hope can last forever, 'cause through every storm you weather, there's a life that you're bound to change. Even the strongest can feel weak. Even the brightest, they feel bleak. But together we will leave the dark and be the ones to find the spark, igniting us, uniting us to say that love will win today. Whoa, love will win today. So go be something, something to someone in some way that shows that love will win today. Love will win today. We begin to conclude our service with Aleinu, page 586 at the bottom if you're following along.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teis gedula l'yotzer bereshit, shelo sanu pigmei arasot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, v'dor Aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech Malchei HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz hayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
As we begin to transition to our Kaddish prayer, please feel free to begin to write names of people that you are remembering this Shabbat. Page 598.
So as Cantor said, please, if you're remembering someone who's passed away in recent days or whose Yortzeit is remembered, please share them in the Cantor. We'll read their names in just a moment. And for now, we remember those who we are aware of who have died in recent days. Bernice Etkoff, Mark Drummond, Sybil Abrams, Joseph Cohen, Esther Esben, Arlene Califf, Bernie Matisow, Laverne Henderson, Sam Lieberman, William Denton Pratt, Joan Finkelman, Harvey Golden, Eugene Arnold, Robert Forst, Kenneth Richard Lewis, Don Gartrell, Abraham Margolis, Jeff Height, Rory Pink. We recall the Yortzeits of Barbara Rosen, Robert Abrams, Evelyn Barad, Lillian Beller, Eleanor Cohen Bosick, Florence Boloff, Mildred Kadish, Nathaniel Chaikin, Burton Cohen, Diana Frush, Lucille Goldstein, Erwin Gross, Leonard Haber, Morris Israel, Freda Kramer, Hiram Lewis, Hyman Margolis, Bernice Mazursky, Maurice Myers, Jack Premack, Diane Schwartz, Harry Selnick, Richard Schaefer, Eleanor Spare, Gloria Starkman, Carlin Watkins, Richard Weinstein, Dina Lois Weisberg.
Hillary Asher, Jerry Fox, Jacqueline Schechter, and as the rabbi mentioned, my grandfather, Erwin Gross.
As we think of all these and others who have touched our hearts, we join together in our Kaddish prayer, 598. Yit Kadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechom v'yomechom v'chayedechol Beit Yisrael, v'agalav izman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevorach v'olam omeil maya, yit barach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekusha brichu, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tush v'chata v'nechemata, damiram b'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlom rabba min shamay v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say,
Amen.
All right, as our service nears a close, it's time for a little kiddush, a little motzi. Go ahead and pass the little grape juice or wine around in your families and in the challah so you can join with us. Hold on.
I know. Those big hands for those
Yeah.
little clubs. We're like alien people.
Oh well. I'm gonna try this hand. Here we go.
Just a reminder, we have a beautiful challah this evening from Pola's family. As Rabbi mentioned, they could not find yeast, so it is a store-bought challah. You'll see it in a second. But if you do have yeast, or you have a way of getting yeast, or you can borrow some yeast from a friend, we want to see those creative challahs. I want you to fill them with the craziest thing you can think of, but yet edible. We want you to sign up. So as I mentioned, I'm hoping that the Mann family will take care of us next week, but then there are many weeks to follow after that. So please consider sponsoring our challah. And thank you to Ricky on our piano as always. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Amen. So even though this one is not filled because the store-bought, it had a really pretty bow on it, so I left the bow.
All right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
All right. That's good challah.
Yes, yeah, that is from the Great Harvest Bakery. They have very good challah.
All right.
So we are going to conclude with Olam Chesed Yibaneh. We will build this world with love in the theme of Mother's Day, in the theme of love. May you all feel the love this weekend and always. And we hope that we can see you again soon in person. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.